Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. It is a beautiful late September night in Kansas City, and tonight at Kauffman Stadium, it's game 2 of 3 between the Royals and the Cleveland Indians. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. The Royals had a tough one last night, to say the least. They did not get a hit until the 7th inning, so they will try again tonight for a 90th win of the season. 90 wins, no way around it. That's a good year.
It sure is, Rhino, and it's been building. But last night, you let that go quickly. Look on to 90 and then some. It's going to be exciting to watch the 18 back in there and seeing what they can do to attack Tomlin.
It's not just 90 wins, but it's one more win than last year. And that would be an unprecedented 6 consecutive seasons where the overall record has gotten a little better.
Yes, and this is what an ownership envisions, especially the Glass family. They were counting on a winning year at some particular point. But to see them grow on down to Dayton Moore, the hiring and Dayton's plan, the scouting, all of the organization can really take credit for the building of this team. And now they were ready last year, but they're even more ready this year, if that makes sense.
And if you're wondering how impressed you should be with the record improving for 6 consecutive years, well, then look at the Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. When the Royals get to 90, they will be only the 2nd team in Major League history to accomplish that. And the last time was back in 1925. Never happened in the NFL, which is hard to do when you're playing fewer than 20 games. It's happened only once in the NBA and only 4 times in the NHL.
Yeah, it's exciting to see these guys building the talent, though, and the way they believe in themselves, the energy, the way the rest of the league now, the rest of the country, they know all about the Royal way, and it's on display. It's really been fun to watch.
Well, after the dig me game last night, as Ned Yost put it, he's got his regulars back in the lineup tonight as the Royals face Josh Tomlin and the Indians. Joel and Monty are coming up next.
This year, 5 of them though in losses, including this one, September 15th. Josh Tomlin gives up the home run to Alex Rios. They even set off the fireworks. Remember that one? It's our AT&T U-verse rewind. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. We hope there are fireworks tonight for some Royals home runs, and Rios did homer in that game. It only took 2 runs to get it done because Chris Medlin threw 6 1/3 shutout innings. Monty, we've seen Chris Medlin start to round into form a little bit. He's going to be in that postseason rotation, and the Royals said, hey, this is what we expected out of him. But are they even getting more than maybe they could have expected?
I think maybe they are. He's really delivering the goods as a result of what he's shown the Royals. He's going to be one of the guys in their postseason rotation. I think they had hoped to get this. I don't know if they really counted on getting it, but as you see here, the last 3 starts he's made, 1.04 ERA. Hard to top that, and that opponent's average at 200. He's going to be a nice addition.
And that includes a couple of his last games where he said he didn't really have his best stuff.
Exactly. He's had to grind, as he put it. He had to grind through those last 2 starts, but has still put up 0 in the earned run column.
Chris Medlin is warming up. Look at the little Cueto rocking chair. He is nice and loose. Don't know if we'll see that one in the game, but we will see Chris throwing the first pitch next.
Ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by your Kansas City Chevy dealers. Visit your local Chevy dealers today for great prices on all the new 2015 vehicles. Boy, you better get in here fast. That's right, they're going quick. Good spots are filling up quickly. Cleveland Indians last night hit 3 home runs, and 5 of their 6 runs came by way of a home run. Finished with 6 runs on 8 hits, which was plenty, as their pitcher Carlos Carrasco held the Royals to 1 hit in 9 innings with a career high 15 strikeouts. Tonight the Indians will be facing Chris Medlin, who is 5-1. Kia puts us in the driver's seat. Medlin's made 2 career starts against Cleveland. In 2013, as a member of the Braves, he had 7 scoreless innings. And then against them this year, Medlin had a scoreless outing at Progressive Field. So 13 1/3 scoreless innings for Chris Medlin against the Indians. And here's his defense tonight, presented by Ford.
Plus 60 defensive runs saved this season. That is fantastic. That is one of the best marks in the game, and that's one of the reasons why the Royals are where they are. That fantastic D by all. All contributed.
Ball one high to Jason Kipnis. Kipnis was 2 for 5 last night. One of his hits was a double, and it was his 40th double of the year. Good fastball at the knees. 1-1.
That'll be Medlin's tops. Probably he might go 93. But he's really comfortable around 90, 91, getting that pitch over and down. And that's going to stay in.
And drop untouched. 3 Royals in pursuit. 1-2.
Talking about his fastball, like every pitcher, got to try to establish that if you can down in the zone. But his curveball and changeup have been really comfortable pitches for him and doing the job. Good curveball, 12-6 rotation, changeup fades down and away to lefties. Tries to hit the corners with his fastball. And probably the most important thing about Chris Medlin, he works quickly. He pitches with confidence.
Still 2-2.
But he wants to keep that pitch down. That'll get hit. That changeup up.
Medlin comes into tonight with 11 1/3 consecutive innings without allowing an earned run. He allowed 3 unearned runs in his last start in Detroit. And that breaking ball stayed up. Kipnis lines it into center field for a game opening single. Special night for our umpiring crew, and in particular the crew chief Dana DeMuth. This is his 32nd year as a full-time major league umpire, and tonight is his 4,000th career game.
Wow.
And he was honored very briefly before the game tonight, and he has the 4th longest current tenure of any active major league umpire. Congratulations to Dana DeMuth.
Yeah, nice to see an umpire around even back in my playing days. How about it? Congratulations, Dana. Think about all the pitches he's seen, all the baseball, all the squatting behind home plate. Man, oh man, what a career.
Squirted off the end of the bat, sinking quickly, and Escobar! Unbelievable! How in the world did he make that play?
Simply put, he's an athletic shortstop that has all the skills, and he believes he's going to make every play. This ball goes up. He's playing in double play depth. He had to go, but he took the perfect route to the ball. He didn't waver. He didn't do any out of the line running. He stayed right on it and just really reached out the last bit there. Looked where he was. Make sure I didn't run into Alex. That was special. Medlin appreciates it.
You know, it's one thing if it's a high pop up, right? Very little spin, you run out. We've seen shortstops make an over the shoulder catch. That thing had so much side spin on it. It had very little loft for an infield pop up, and it looked like at the very end that the spin really took off and he had to make that late adjustment reaching across his body.
Yeah, and he kind of just took a swipe at it, but that's, you know, again, he's got great hands, but took a perfect route to the ball.
And that gets through Hosmer's legs. A wicked line drive from Francisco Lindor. So Escobar's play is even more important now as the Indians have runners at second and third and 1 out.
Rarely see that happen. Lindor's at it again on the attack. That ball went right between Hosmer's legs.
Didn't really do anything wrong. Kept his glove down.
Nope. Just, you know, sometimes that ball's hit hard, and on one hop like that, it'll take a little detour at times.
Lindor batted third last night as he does tonight, as Michael Brantley was a late scratch and he was hitless after wearing out the Royals in the previous 2 series. So second and third, one out to Carlos Santana. A little bit high, ball 1. Ripped to right field. Rios coming up, and it's by Rios. 2 runs are home, and Santana, luckily it's Santana running. He is into third base with a 2-run triple.
Sinking liner. Outfielder has the choice. Either I'm going to come and get it, and I believe I can make the catch, or I'm going to come after it and then just pull up and play it on the short hop. And he hit this ball on top, and it had top spin. It was sinking heavily, and it was on the line, and Rios just couldn't get extended enough to get it. And lots of times when you're an outfielder, you know there's no one behind you, you'll leave your feet and just try to lay in front of it, but it got down and by him.
And you can imagine why Rios wanted to get to that ball. Sees a line drive into right field. If he catches that ball, he's got all of his momentum coming toward the plate. And an opportunity there, if he makes a catch, to throw to the plate with Kipnis tagging and coming down the line.
Lots of times, though, when you're on it and about 10 feet in front of you, you can tell you're not going to get to it. So that's when you alter your run and just try to keep it in front of you. But it's a tough play.
Oh, and 2 on Yan Gomes, the Indians' regular catcher. He was on the bench last night. Roberto Perez was behind the plate, and he had a 2-run home run, and Gomes is down on strikes. So Medlin, who's been striking out very few in his past few starts despite all of his success, he needed a strikeout here, and he got it.
It was up in the zone. Looked like that ball had a little bit of rising action to it.
So now the infield can relax a bit, move back to their normal depth. And Chisenhall tops it by the mound. Zobrist is there, and that's the inning. So the Indians get 2. It could have been worse. Medlin gets a big strikeout. Escobar makes an outstanding play, and the Royals are coming up down 2-0. Gordon is back in there. Lorenzo Cain, Eric Hosmer, Kendrys Morales, Mike Moustakas, Salvador Perez, Alcides Escobar all had the night off last night, as Ned Yost referred to it as a dig me night. And tonight the Royals will face Josh Tomlin, who had a very good start against the Royals back on September 15th.
It's been good. 8 starts since his return from shoulder surgery. 2 complete games and 4 outings this month. 1.84 ERA. Opponents hitting 163 during that time. He's been really good. Throws strikes. Although in his last outing, he walked 3. That's crazy for him. But let's see what he can do. He stays right down in that zone. Pitches to contact. The only thing he's missing is a 92 to 93 mile an hour fastball. Kind of like Medlin. If he had Medlin's fastball, well, this kid would be really good. But first things first, continue to pitch. And that's what he does. He's a pitcher. He's not a thrower.
Hit hard and right into the shift. The Indians had 3 infielders on the right side. Tough hitting luck for Alex. That's a 6-3 play with the shortstop Lindor throwing out Gordon. Here are the Indians on defense tonight behind Tomlin.
Yeah, look at that. Last season, that was really ugly, but this year it's changed. They've gotten better. They're on the plus side for saving runs. Credit Brad Mills and the players, of course, but Brad Mills is the infield instructor there with the the Indians. Terry Francona's bench coach.
Oh, Zobrist gets on top of one. That's into deep right, and the Royals are on the board. Ben Zobrist rips his 13th of the year.
Let's see if Zobrist put the do not disturb sign on his bat. Whenever he hits a ball hard, he usually sets the bat down with a nice quiet touch. And you can see him, he stays on top, and certainly enough, do not disturb the bat after it explodes like that with a nice, crisp solo home run. His 13th.
So the Royals get 1 back. And that's at the knees, a strike to Lorenzo Cain. And Tomlin will give up home runs. He doesn't give up a lot of runs, but typically when he does, it's because of a home run.
We talked about his lack of velocity. When you pitch up in the zone like that, if you don't have enough hair to get it by the hitter will let you know. There's his fastball, cut fastball, curveball, and a changeup.
Out to Santana at first. He'll take care of Cain, and there are 2 down. For the Royals, that is their 10th home run in the last 5 games and 1 inning. And Tomlin has allowed 16 runs all year, and 13 have been on home runs. 13 of his 16 runs allowed have been on home runs. And if you do that math right there, you realize that most of them are solo home runs.
They are, and he tried to get in there on Haas again, and it worked. Tied him up.
Royals are down in the bottom of the 1st inning, but after Cleveland got 2 in the top of the 1st, Ben Zobrist hits his 13th home run of the year to make it 2-1. At tonight's Toyota league leaders, and here's why the Royals wanted Chris Medlin, and they signed him to a 2-year contract even though he's coming off his second Tommy John surgery. Best ERAs in the major league since 2012, and we're going to see some of these guys matching up in the playoffs, perhaps in the World Series. But Kershaw, Harvey, then Chris Medlin, Greinke, and then Johnny Cueto with a minimum of 375 innings to qualify. And we'll get back to that note, which shows Medlin's success as a starter. 67 career starts. That winning percentage is best, and his ERA over that stretch is second best only to Clayton Kershaw. So he's a winner.
No doubt. I like the numbers a player has in the second half of the season. That really tells me a lot about their character, how strong they can finish a long, grueling major league season.
Kane and Rios, and it slices over to Rios. Chris Johnson is down, 1 away.
Following the All-Star break in Medlin's career, he's 24-7 with a 2.37 ERA. Now this year he's obviously coming off of his second Tommy John surgery, so we'll cut him some slack. However, he is 5-1 in a Royals uniform.
Abraham Almonte had one of the 3 Indians home runs last night. He hit a 2-run shot against Volquez in the second inning. Oh man, how about the life on that pitch? If he throws his fastball like this all night, he might only need that one pitch. That one did not move the same. Rios will try and pick it off. He will. Almonte has good speed, and he's in with a 1-out double. A lot of times when we look at balls that are hit hard and you watch the replay, where was the catcher's target and where did the pitch end up? Sal wanted that pitch down and away. So runner at second with 1 out to former Royal Mike Aviles. And he takes inside for ball 1.
Lots of times when you're a hitter and you fake that bunt, you look down at the third baseman and you try to make eye contact with him. Moose looked at him and kind of waved his glove like, come on, bring it. Go ahead and drop that bunt.
Well, remember when we were in Cleveland, Joel had polled some of the Royals players about who talked more in the clubhouse, Gerard Dyson or Mike Aviles. And most Royals said Dyson, but wasn't it Moustakas who said that he talks the most during the game, that Aviles just wears out Moustakas when Moustakas is at third in Cleveland and Aviles is in the dugout.
Yep. There's always 1 or 2 guys that like to talk a little smack. Bench jockeying, probably it's not as popular as it used to be at one time, but it's always welcome.
2-1. Who was the best in your career? Who had even the victim on the field in stitches?
Oh, you know what? Oscar Gamble in my rookie year with the Yankees was incredible. I was in stitches every time he opened his mouth. He had a saying or a phrase. Don Baylor was the most intimidating guy I ever heard talk to the opponents, and when he talked, it usually was directed directly at the pitcher or somebody else, and it was regarding a personal confrontation. So it was like, whoa, man.
And the guy in the field knew that it was Don Baylor, I'm sure, too, right? He wasn't hiding in a crowd of teammates.
No, next time you get a chance to see Buddy Black, talk to Buddy Black about Don Baylor, and he'll tell you he never even would look in that direction. Didn't even want to make eye contact with Don Baylor.
Breaking ball stayed up, and it's chopped foul again. Indians in the first 2 innings have a single, 2 doubles, and a triple against Medlin. And that's ripped foul off the netting of the camera well.
Avila's making the most of his starts and even opportunities to go into a game late. He's driven. He used to have a chip on his shoulder being drafted so far down the line that you needed binoculars to see where he was drafted. Everybody gave up on him, and now he's got his sights set on 10 years of major league service, which would be a huge accomplishment for this young man and any major leaguer, really. It's not easy, but for him, having to grind it out as a utility guy, extra guy, you got to produce, and it's even harder because you don't have a lot of timing. But you know, he's very confident, carries himself with a little swagger, and you have to have that out there. Medlin needs to make a pitch here.
You know, come to think of it, your career and his career have some parallels. Now, he wasn't taken in the first round like you were. Royals took him in the 7th round, but for many years in the Royals organization, he put up numbers, but he was just kind of like an organizational guy. You know, they didn't really project him to be much of a big leaguer. And then when he got to the big leagues, he hit .325 and was the Royals Player of the Year in 2008. And the year before that, Mike Aviles was the Royals Minor League Player of the Year, and they elected not to protect him on the 40-man roster.
A guy like that's going to get snatched up.
Medlin can't get him out. Aviles can't hit it fair.
You know, the reason that Aviles is getting contact on these pitches is they're elevated. Salvi's been calling for pitches down, and Medlin hasn't been able to do it in this at bat. There it was.
Second strikeout. Both with a fastball tonight. 2 down in the 2nd inning.
That good little 2-seam runner, it's a beauty. Watch where Salvi's glove is, and that's right where Medlin put it even better. All those pitches inside to Aviles.
It took 10 pitches, but Medlin gets the 2nd out of the inning.
So Mike consider a little small moral victory. When he gets back in there again, he'll have seen all of Medlin's pitches. That's the positive you take from that. Even though you don't like to strike out, but you got to look for the positive side.
Grounded to Zobrist. Kipnis is out, hitting the ball right on the nose. Medlin gets around a 1-out double. meant 20 years from now, 1738. It's been a kind of an inside joke, an inside story for Royals players and their fans. Kendrys Morales, Mike Moustakas, and Salvador Perez in the bottom of the second inning. Cleveland got 2 in the first on a Santana 2-run triple, and then Ben Zobrist homered in the bottom of the first. At the knees, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Tomlin is a strike thrower, 6 walks in 55 2/3, and told you half of those came in his last start. So he's a strike thrower. Hanging curve there. It's going to give you something good to hit.
Time for our University of Kansas hospital injury report, and another St. Louis Cardinal is down with an injury. Carlos Martinez is going to miss the remainder of the season with a right shoulder strain. For now, they don't think it's going to require surgery. Out of last night's game against Milwaukee after just 7 pitches. And of course, they got the news recently that Yadier Molina has a torn ligament in his left thumb.
This time of year, it's tough. Any time of year, but especially when your team's heading to the postseason. And you could tell by Martinez last night as he came off the mound, he put his glove in front of his face, his hat was up. You could tell that he knew he was hurt. Bummer.
Molina hasn't played since Sunday. Matt Adams, torn thigh muscle. Matt Holliday's been on the disabled list twice.
Moustakas, he likes Josh Tomlin. He's got some good numbers off of him. Down 0-2. Let's see what Tomlin goes with. When it hit that pitch, that's amazing how you have to pull your hands in towards your body to even foul that off. That ball was on Moose's hands. It tells you why, you know, his power is really good to pull the pull side, but he rarely hooks that pull because his hands are so good. They stay inside that ball, and that keeps the ball fair. And right back with the same pitch.
Fouls it off of his foot.
Yep, they're going to keep pounding him in there, and their defense is playing just like that for him. See, I mean, these guys are tightly bunched too. It's not like they're spread out. They think they have it narrowed down to Moose if he hits one on the ground. Seattle Mariners played Moose straight up. Cleveland Indians play him to pull. Helps when you know you have an edge on a guy and you've had some success off of him. Come to the ballpark, you're thinking, all right, I got him in. Right now, Moose is battling. He's battling here down in the count. That's because his confidence is saying, all right, I'm still going to get him. He's going to leave something out there for me.
So he goes the other way with the shift. Didn't quite get it. Aviles makes the play. 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Attention Blue Crew members. Remember that tomorrow all Blue Crew members can show their ID badge to get free access to the activities in the outfield experience. Thanks to the Learning Quest 529 Education Savings Program. Gates will open at 11:30 a.m. and this opportunity is only available for the first hour. So get here early and get those tickets now at Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS. Tomorrow is the last regular season home game. Game number 155 tomorrow, and the Royals will play their final 7 games on the road. Regular season games, that is. One ball, 1 strike. Well, the question has come up over the past 2 years. How would some time off affect Salvador Perez? He's our most trusted player, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda. After a day off since early August, Salvi in the next game hits a combined .395. Didn't quite get his arms extended, and Aviles will make another play in left field. 3 up, 3 down. At the end of 2, Cleveland leads the Royals 2-1.
Up north of the border, Rogers Center, our Mazda game break does not have any Josh Donaldson home runs. There you go. It's a record. But Jose Bautista homered twice, 38 and 39. Bullpen actually gave up 3 runs in the 9th. Tampa Bay made it close, but a 10-8 final. So the Blue Jays are a half a game behind the Royals. They've got a 4-game lead right now on the Yankees. Now, want to throw you guys a little Johnny Gomes trivia today, and it involves a Royal because we know that Alex Rios will be heading to his first ever postseason. He's played the most games of any active player without being in the postseason. Now, if you look at the top 50 for most games played among active players, there are 3 guys in that top 50 that have never been to the postseason. Alex is one of them. Who are the other 2?
Well, that's one we got to think about for a while, right?
Probably, maybe.
The guy who just hit a home run.
There you go.
The game break.
I was hoping that might help you a little bit.
Speaking of Rios, he and Kane running into right center field, and that ball's going to go to the wall. And Jose Ramirez opens the top of the 3rd inning with a triple. So the Indians have 5 hits against Chris Medlin in the first 3 innings, and 4 are extra base hits.
The ball had just enough air under it, and it was hit in the perfect spot for him to be able to get a triple. If you hit it on the line hard, usually guys go right to the spot and can hold you to a double, but this ball had some loft on it and couldn't get in there. A little bit of a shocker that ball wasn't caught, but placement was perfect.
And the Royals bring the infield back in for Francisco Lindor. Curveball for strike 1.
Lindor, a .342 hitter with a runner in scoring position. As a rookie, you see that right there. Be tough to get out.
That'll be deep enough. Lindor continues to produce against the Royals. It's his 46th RBI. Ramirez scores. And now it's 3-1 Cleveland. All right, Joel, so we've got Jose Bautista. Now, is he 2 behind Rios or right behind Rios?
No, he's a little behind. Rios, 1,683 games, I think, after tonight. He's 15th among active players in games. Bautista at 1,396 was ranked 40th. And then the last guy has played in 1,347 games without being in the playoffs now. He's 49th. And the other hint I could give you is that all three will end that streak. It'll be passed on to someone else.
Oh, and 2 on Santana. He hit the 2-run triple in the first inning.
Hud, you got anything?
How about Josh Donaldson hasn't had enough time in?
Well, but Josh Donaldson played last year.
My bad.
How about Bautista's teammate, Edwin Encarnacion? Did he get in with the Reds?
He did not, and there you go. The question is originally phrased to me by Johnny was, Alex Rios has gone the most games of any active player without the postseason. Who's second and third, and they are teammates. So since you already got Bautista, I couldn't give you that hint. But Bautista, Encarnacion, along with Rios, all postseason bound for the first time in their careers.
So at least I didn't say Mike Sweeney.
I was going to suggest it.
All right, hang on, Joel. I got a question for you. 1 and 2 on Santana. 2 and 2. Okay, so then who's going to be on the hook? Who's going to be Alex Rios next year? By the way, Adam Dunn preceded Rios. He had never been in the postseason, and he finishes his career never going to the postseason. Santana strikes out. So when Rios, Encarnacion, and Bautista all go to the postseason next year, who's going to be the longest current tenured major leaguer having never been to the postseason? Go ahead, Hud.
Well, I want to tell you how tough that is to hit there. That's exactly where Medlin wants to execute. Good pitch.
3 strikeouts for Medlin. Now 2 down to Yan Gomes. He was Medlin's first strikeout victim in the first inning.
I will have it to you by the bottom of the third.
Okay. It was Vernon Wells a couple of years ago. He retired. Then Adam Dunn was on the hook, and those 2 guys never did get to the postseason. If Dunn had appeared in the wild card game last year, he'd be off the hook, but he never played in the game. And then when Dunn retired, it was Alex Rios, and now he'll be off the hook. It's not something a player is very proud of, to have a long major league career with a lot of games played and never appearing in the postseason. Hit hard to left field. Back goes Alex, and that is gone. Yan Gomes gives the Indians a 4-1 lead in the third inning. So that is 6 hits for the Cleveland Indians in 3 innings. 5 are extra base hits.
It looks like Medlin's just struggling with his command a little bit again in this game. Now he's able to get by in some other games, but that ball is just belt high, saying hit me hard, and it was on the line too. Didn't take too much time to get out of the ballpark on that one. Last time Josh Tomlin faced the Royals, he didn't get any running support and threw a complete game. Lost 2-0. Now his guys have got him 4 already. He'll be tough. Royals offense will have to go to work.
That's hit hard. Zobrist had to pick up the ball off the grass with his bare hand, and that's one in a handful of times all year where Eric Hosmer isn't able to dig it out of the dirt.
I'm going to say twice. That's just the 2 times I can remember, because that's an automatic, but it really isn't. He makes it automatic because of his soft hands and great footwork.
That's interesting. Pinch runner in the top of the third inning, and not necessarily bringing in somebody who's faster than Chisenhall.
maybe Lonnie has something that he's playing with that maybe we don't know about.
Well, he was running, it looked like about 3/4 speed, and usually when a runner sees that the ball gets by an infielder, you know, they might kick it into that last gear, and there was no last gear for Chisenhall. I mean, usually at least the manager comes out and the trainer comes out and they ask him if he's all right. But Terry Francona, he just sent the pinch runner right in.
You know, it looks like it was almost planned. Maybe Chisenhall has something to do or somewhere to go that we don't know about after the game or something. I don't know. But it happened so quickly. Sands came in like it was planned.
Yeah, that was almost like the 8th or 9th inning. You know, if this guy gets on, you're going to run for him.
There's not a trainer around him.
Changeup strikes out Johnson. The Indians have 4 runs on 7 hits in their first 3 at-bats, and a 4-1 lead to the bottom of the 3rd. It's John Martin. He has established himself as one of the most accomplished portrait artists in the entire country. He has paintings in over 75 cities around the world. He is a graduate of the University of Kansas School of Fine Arts. John has worked with the Royals since almost the very beginning of the franchise history, with his work appearing in yearbooks, game programs, and media guides. And he paints the portraits for members of the Royals Hall of Fame. So you've probably seen those walking around Kauffman Stadium, or maybe reading a game day program. One of the best artists in the country. Sands, who just filled in for Chisenhall as a runner, he gets tested right away in right field and makes a play on the track. So John Martin sitting in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat at tonight's game. One down, and now Alcides Escobar, and let's go back to Joel.
Well, Sands there, Brian, had the look of a guy that knew that he would be tested with the first ball in play. Alcides Escobar was tested early in this game and really living up to the challenge, very similar to a recent catch that he had. Now, I had a chance to talk to Esky today, because this guy, if it were up to him, would play 162 games. And talking to some of the medical folks, they say that he has an ability to recover faster than most normal athletes. He just genetically has this incredible ability to rebound, but yet it really felt and certainly showed in the numbers like maybe he was slowing down for a couple of months. He had a few days off after being hit by that pitch in Detroit. I asked him about it today, and he said he really feels good, has a lot of energy, and while he doesn't want days off, and he said he's had too many this year because of a couple of injuries, he said he's got a lot of life right now, so that could bode well for the Royals. And it certainly showed. When he was telling me about the catch that he had recently that was like this, he said he didn't know if he'd be able to catch it or not. Just throw a glove out there and hope that you get it. And so now it's happened twice within the last week for him. Guys, the answer to your trivia question, unless the Yankees completely collapse, they haven't clinched a playoff spot yet, but they look like they're on their way. If they were to collapse, it'd be Chase Headley. He's at 1,114 games, but they should get in. It'll be passed on then to Adam Lind, who has gone 1,096 games in the regular season without appearing in the playoffs. And keep in mind, that's almost 600 regular season games less than Alex Rios.
And how long was he a Blue Jay?
He missed.
And now that he's gone,
time, yeah.
Now that he's gone, the Blue Jays are back in the postseason. I see a lot of those bows around my house lately, I can tell you that.
There's a gapper.
Tomlin had retired the last 6. Escobar's around second, and he'll be at third base with 1 out.
Oh, there's nothing better for a hitter than on contact. When you hit it and you see that's a gapper all the way, no one's getting to it, you can kick it in gear right away. 4th triple of the year. Escobar waited for his pitch, stayed short with his swing. That's how you develop the power. And it was a hanger, a little breaking ball. 73 right over the heart of the plate. Lots of times you hit those balls right at somebody, but that makes it even special, more special when you can, on contact, know you got extra bags. Look at Escobar. He's feeling fresh. And his bat is coming around. Orioles want to get back in this game. They've got to capitalize on opportunities like this.
How about a water ball?
Ooh. A hydration station shot. We haven't seen one in a while.
1-1 to Alex.
Alex has the most at-bats against Tomlin. 36. He's got 9 hits.
Had a play, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Indians shifted on Alex in the first inning, and he hit a bullet to the right side, but the shortstop Lindor was there. Now Lindor is on the left side. Alex is a little better than the major league average, getting that runner in from third with less than 2 outs.
Yep, any kind of contact will do it. Right here, infielders are back. Shorten up the swing, put it in play.
Didn't quite get it to the water, but it drops into right field. 45 RBIs for Alex, and now it's 4-2.
Escobar on contact, he read it as a hit all the way, and he put the brakes on and headed back towards third base. And then when he saw it dropped, he had to kick it back in gear to score. See Escobar now, watch him, he's going to come hard. He's saying, oh, that's a base hit. Nope, he might catch it, so he went back. Look at, see, Gomes thought they might have had a play at the plate had Sands picked that up. The right fielder, after he got the ball, he just assumed that Escobar was going to score. The problem that happens sometimes in this game at this level is you assume. You assume things are going to happen. But in baseball, even the best sometimes will assume and be wrong. But you really have to pay attention to what can happen out there.
Zobrist homered his first time up against Tomlin. Hit it to right field for his 13th of the year. Royals and A's combined. Good fastball at the knees. Zobrist had gone 55 at-bats without a home run.
Kept that one away from him there. And that was just the second hit in 18 at-bats against Tom. Home run.
And seeing that Tomlin's pitching him away, tried to go the other way. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's really important that a guy like Tomlin can work ahead and pitch ahead. And there's the numbers. When he's ahead, look at the average, 110.
200-point difference.
Yeah, it's big. And, you know, he's not overpowering, so he's got to rely on hitting his spots and getting ahead.
Two and two. All the seats are sold, and so fans wanting to come tonight on a walk-up basis could only get standing room tickets. Popped up. Lindor out and calls out Ramirez to make the play in foul territory. So Tomlin this time around gets Zobrist. And now he'll get Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo grounded out to the first baseman Santana in the first inning.
Lorenzo Cain's last home run came September 11th in Baltimore. So he's due.
Down around the end of the bat. Almonte is there to end the inning. The Royals get a run. Alex Gordon drives in Alcides Escobar, and at the end of 3, Cleveland's lead is 4-2. Warm evening for late September. Kauffman Stadium is packed on Fan Appreciation Night. And the next thing you know, you'll be making plans to go to Royals Fan Fest, 2016 Royals Fan Fest, presented by Commerce Bank. The dates are set for Friday, January 29th and Saturday, January 30th at the Kansas City Convention Center. You can get those tickets now at Royals.com/FanFest. It's a family-friendly event that features player autograph sessions, slugger appearances, Royals merchandise, activities, and more.
And like you mentioned a couple nights ago about the Fan Fest, there might be some fans going, "Oh, that's next year. We'll worry about that then." Well, just think about what's ahead. We don't know, but the Royals could capture their second crown in their history. And think about how many people will be at that event, and you won't be able to get tickets. So, folks, why don't you do it right now? It's a nice Christmas gift for somebody.
Two balls and no strikes on Abraham Almonte. The Indians have a hit in every inning against Medlin. They have an extra base hit in every inning. Cleveland got 2 in the first inning. Medlin worked around a 1-out double that was hit by Almonte in the second inning, and then Cleveland got 2 more in the third.
There you go. He's got to be bringing those secondary pitches and command them. And that fastball, if he throws that, you better make sure it's down, or they're going to continue to pound it. He's got to hold Cleveland down right here. It's 24 home runs Cleveland has hit against the Royals this season.
Almonte is out. Tough angle, and Hosmer made a good play on the throw for Medlin. 1 away. And during several points this season, Cleveland has had the fewest home runs in the American League. That was the case last night. Had fewer home runs than the Royals, and then they hit 3 to pass the Royals. So don't tell the Royals the Indians aren't a home run hitting team.
Next closest team is Baltimore with 17 against the Royals.
Vilas gets on top of a high fastball and chops it into left field. He is 1 for 2. In his first at bat, he went 10 pitches and struck out. Didn't feel like hanging around that long this time around, and swung at the first pitch and gets a base hit. The pitch barely registered on Fox tracks. It was so high. The Indians have 8 hits already from 8 different players. Jason Kipnis opened the game with a single, and he scored on Santana's 2-run triple. A little high, 2-0.
Yep. Fastball command is not down. And it appears on one of the strikeouts he had tonight that the ball had a little bit of rise to it. He doesn't want to push up underneath the ball. He wants to stay on top. Looks like he's staying underneath it.
3-0. Three and 1 on Kipnis. I guess this would be the 3rd consecutive start where Medlin hasn't felt right on the mound. But in his previous 2, he was able to pitch around that, not fully comfortable with his mechanics, not having command of all 3 pitches. So this is the first time that a team has made him pay. He had a start against the Indians, going up against Tomlin on September 15th. He did not give up a run in 6 1/3 innings, and then after the game said that he fought his mechanics all night, which was a surprise to us. It was a surprise to Dave Island and Ned Yost. And then he fought himself on Sunday at Detroit, but was able to make big pitches with men on base and limit the damage. And that stroke to center field. Kane is there. That ball had a lot of slice to it. You don't normally say the ball was sliced out to the center fielder, but that was the result of the spin off of Kipnis' bat, and there are 2 down.
Yeah, he hit it off the end of his bat. And you can see on contact where it ends up. Lorenzo had to make a good adjustment on it.
Looked like a golfer trying to play a fade.
Did. If hitters could control where the ball went, believe me, there'd be a lot of 400 or 500 hitters.
Jose Ramirez tripled and scored in the 3rd, and then popped a short in the 1st. I think it was Ted Williams and Ben Hogan were having a debate as to whose skill was more difficult. Ted Williams said to Ben Hogan, well, your ball isn't moving, it's just on a tee.
Exactly.
Ben Hogan said, yeah, but I have to play my foul balls.
It's a good comeback, but the crowd has to be quiet too. You forget about that. You can't have anybody heckling you like these ball players do when they're trying to hit.
(2-0) on Ramirez.
Very rarely in the major leagues, when you're hitting, can you hear a fan ragging you. Now in the minor leagues, you know, there's not as big a crowds, and there's always a couple of loud guys. You can hear them then, but in the big leagues, for the most part, you can't hear them. Good spot.
Three and one on Ramirez. Playing at third base, Giovanni Urshela, rookie who took over third base earlier this year, has been out with a sore right shoulder. A bullet down into the right field corner. Aviles is around second, on his way to third. They're going to wave him home. Chance for a play at the plate, and the throw is short. And the Indians have scored in 3 of 4 innings. That is a double for Ramirez. He goes to third on the throw home.
Ramirez, you know, he's hot. He's swinging a good bat. 3-0, you expect a fastball. Okay, he took it. 3-1. And now the 3-1 pitch was another fastball, looked like to me, right down the middle. It's a changeup. But regardless, whatever it was, it's just down the middle. Zobrist makes a good throw on the third base side of the plate. He gets it. Just a little bit offline with the throw. Royals just not quite synced up on defense tonight. They're not as airtight as they typically are.
That'll bring up Francisco Lindor. He doubled and scored in the first inning, and then hit a sacrifice fly, scoring Ramirez in the third. And now he bats with Ramirez at third base and 2 outs. Oh, and 2. One ball and 2 strikes. 72 pitches, and now Jeremy Guthrie warms up with 2 down in the 4th inning. The Indians have 9 hits already, and 6 have been extra base hits. And that ties a career high for Medlin. Also allowed 6 extra base hits against the Giants 2 seasons ago. Just nicked it foul. 8 of 9 Indians already have a hit. And that gets through Sal. Something else that hardly ever happens with a runner at third base. It is 6-2 in the 4th inning.
Third wild pitch by Medlin. You know, I thought about the wild pitch, but I said, you know, there's no way he's going to throw it here. But it was a changeup that hit the plate and stayed down. Didn't bounce up like Salvi anticipated. Whenever it hits that plate, especially the edge of the plate, you never know.
And now Lindor walks. So Ned Yost wants Dave Island to check and see if Guthrie's ready to go, and that motion was to tell Salvador Perez to go to the mound and talk to Medlin to buy Guthrie a few more warm-up pitches. Ned Yost's philosophy is he wants his reliever warmed up until his last 8 pitches, which he will get on the mound when he comes into the game, and Ned will make the call. So Chris Medlin in his previous 2 starts had not allowed an earned run in over 11 innings. Tonight he gives up 6 in 3 2/3 with 1 tune-up start. That'll be on Thursday before the playoffs begin. Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag KCDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Hashtag KCDataStrongFan. Well, Jeremy Guthrie, who made 1 start in his return to the rotation and has moved back to the bullpen, as Ned Yost will use Chris Young tomorrow for this series finale. And Guthrie comes on with runner at first base and 2 down. Indians have scored in 3 of 4 innings. Carlos Santana drove in 2 with a triple in the first inning on a ball that was misjudged by Rios. Lindor runs, and Guthrie was able to, or allowed Lindor to get a big break, so Salvador Perez didn't bother make a throw.
Guthrie 2 and 4 seam fastball, slider, curve, and a change. See if he can keep him down and get it out of this inning anyway.
Three and one. Terry Francona looked like he was glancing up at the scoreboard, and he's probably can't help to do some scoreboard watching, as the Indians are 3 games back in the wild card with a week to go, a little more than a week to go. But they have to pass 3 teams. The Angels play tonight. Houston and New York have both won today. Minnesota is in the 4th inning at Detroit. Santana is down on strikes. The inning is over. Cleveland gets 2 more, and they have a 6-2 lead at the end of 3½. By Panera Bread. Avoid the lines. Order online with rapid pickup at delivery.panerabread.com. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Ram Trucks. Come in and get a great deal on the best trucks during Ram Truck Month. All right, the Royals have their work cut out for them. They are down 6-2 as they bat in the bottom of the 4th inning. Eric Hosmer was looking for a fastball up. He got it, but chops it out to Kipnis. And now Tomlin pitching with a big lead. That's a gift for him. 1 pitch and 1 away. Tomlin allowed a home run to Ben Zobrist in the 1st inning, and then an RBI single to Alex Gordon in the 3rd. And now Kendrys Morales. That's a tough spot to hit it and get a base hit with Kipnis out in shallow right field, but deep enough to get it over Kipnis and shallow enough where Sands didn't have a play. The Royals have 1 on, 1 out.
Okay, first 2 hitters swinging at that first pitch, and that's because they know that he's trying to get ahead with a fastball that's not overpowering. He's got a good cutter, fastball cutter combination. Cutters look like a little slider. They move down. They don't move laterally. He's got a curve and a change. Doesn't use a changeup that often.
And it's lucky that changeup was as high as it was. It was high and out of the strike zone at 79 miles an hour.
Yeah, there you go. So first pitch to Moose was changeup after the previous two first pitches were fastballs. Kind of trying to mix it up a little.
Back with a fastball at 86. 1-1 to Moustakas. He flied out to left field in the second inning.
It's tough to get it all back in one swing. Keep the line moving. Might have to start thinking about the opposite field. Although they keep trying to pitch Moose inside, and he's just not able to catch it.
Tomlin's had a long stretch of success. 7 starts, 6-1, 170 opponent's batting average. Now that loss was to the Royals back on the 15th. But in that game, Tomlin went all 9 innings and only gave up 2 runs. Fastball inside at 89. And he did not have a single walk in those 9 innings. Again, Moustakas goes the other way. That's a long run for Aviles. It is down and into the crowd for a double.
First double by Moose. That's what you do. Now that he'd been pounding Moose in his 2 at-bats tonight, and then he's going away. That's a 2-strike approach. Moose was able to catch it just right. Too bad it didn't stay in. That would have scored a run. But the right idea for sure. The Royals are second in Major League Baseball in doubles. So they may not have a lot of power. They don't walk a lot, but they certainly can hit the doubles. They've got good team speed.
2 in scoring position for Salvador Perez, and if you like the numbers, and this is the guy you want at the plate. Salvi is 8 out of 13 against Tomlin with a home run. To left center field. Aviles won't get there. Another hit for Salvi against Tomlin, and he will drive in 2, and it is 6-4.
Salvador Perez with his 24th double, and on contact you need to pass out a set of earplugs because it's loud. I mean, this ball was struck well. That's right down the middle and barreled perfectly. And Aviles, he turned and he never looked back. He knew he wasn't going to catch it. Way to pick him up. Keep the line moving.
So Sal would be a natural for a player to watch, and that was before tonight from DraftKings.com. Those outstanding numbers against Tomlin. He's added to them tonight with another hit, 2 RBIs. Go to DraftKings.com, enter the promo code BRoyal. And now a hot hitter coming to the plate, representing the tying run in the bottom of the 4th inning, Alex Rios. remind you to vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com, and you'll be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. Breaking ball down and away.
One thing that Ned Yost has instilled in the characteristic of this team is to never quit, and they haven't. Last year they had a ton of come from behind wins. This year even more. They're tied for first in the American League with 39 come from behind wins, and that is really one of the best characteristics you could have on a team, is knowing that you're in every single game, even if the score gets a little bit out of hand. I think the Royals dugout saying, we got them where we want them. We're going to come back and get them. And that's the confidence, and that's the swagger. That's the American League Championship team that's saying, you know what, we're going to come back and get you. And Tomlin, he can feel it here in this inning. Any mistake he's making, they're not missing.
Down and away, 2 balls, 1 strike. And now Zach McAllister warms up in the Indians bullpen. The Royals dipped into their bullpen in the top of the 4th inning with Guthrie replacing Medellin, and now Tomlin is skating on thin ice. Now Monte comes over from center field. 2 outs.
So, you know, talking about that characteristic that I said was so important, you know, come from behind wins. The Royals, last year they had 35 come from behind wins. This year they're sitting right at 39. But in 2013, when they started to believe in themselves and started to come along, they had 44 come from behind wins.
Alcides Escobar with Perez at second base, 2 down. Grounded up the middle, off of Kipnis' glove. Sal is waved around third, and it's a 1-run game. Escobar gets a base hit and an RBI, and suddenly Alcides Escobar has 9 hits in his last 20 at bats.
Staying aggressive on the first pitch. This ball was hit hard, and that last hop there on Kipnis came up on him, and that's enough to get Tomlin out of this game. Salvador Perez driving the bus and bringing a run home. That ball was scalded. It was hit really hard. It's a difficult play, and it can be made, but not always.
Both starters go 3 2/3 innings. We're in the bottom of the 4th, and the Indians now lead by 1. lead when this inning began, and now the Royals have 3 to make it a 1-run game. Keep up with the pennant races in true HD quality on MLB.tv. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD with MLB.tv Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. Visit MLB.tv for details. Ned Yost had to go to his bullpen with 2 down in the 4th inning. The Indians led by 4. I'm sure Terry Francona thought that was going to be the last thing he was going to have to do, but he does the same thing with 2 down in the bottom of the 4th inning and brings on Zach McAllister to face Alex Gordon with Alcides Escobar at first base and 2 down.
See if Escobar with 2 outs will make an attempt to rip off the bag. If he does, it'd be his 16th. As fresh as he is and as confident as he is, maybe that's going to parlay into a steal.
Alex grounded sharply to the shortstop Lindor in the 1st inning and then blooped a single to right in the 3rd and drove in his 45th run.
Just a little bit of an uppercut on that, but that's the one he wanted. McAllister, he'll go low to mid 90s with his fastball. He likes to cut the fastball, curveball, changeup. He's got a split finger that he'll pull out occasionally, but oh man, wow. And it hit his pad. How about that? Boy, he's fortunate.
Boy, I'm glad you're right, because I wasn't thinking pad. I heard crack up here and I thought, oh man, that's going to be right off the shin bone or his knee.
Oh man, he's fortunate too. That pad saved him on that one. Now it's time to make Zobrist to make him pay. You know, you have that shin guard on there to protect against fouling the ball off your foot, but rarely do you see you get lucky enough as a hitter for it to hit that pad. So Alex is going good.
Ben Zobrist homered in the 1st inning against Tomlin. And that almost hit him.
Let's listen for the pad. Fourteenth time this year Alex has been hit.
Good night tonight. 3 for 4 with runners in scoring position. And Kipnis, who wasn't able to handle the hot shot from Escobar, handles Zobrist's ground ball with a backhand. That ends the inning. The Royals just won't go away tonight. Salvador Perez drives in 2 with a double. Alcides Escobar follows with an RBI single, and the Royals are down by 1. Non-stop action. Heart-pounding excitement. Historic performances. Don't miss the 2015 postseason beginning October 6th. Go to MLB.com/postseason for a full schedule. There it is. Rays last night before the game with the Indians, the 2015 American League Central Division Championship flag. Jeremy Guthrie came on for Chris Medlin with 2 down in the 4th inning and struck out Carlos Santana. He'll get Gomes, Sands, and Johnson in the top of the 5th.
Hey, Guthrie's job is to get those Royals right back in that dugout. Try to keep the Tribe, who's really swinging the bats well, try to keep him off the base. Guthrie in his last relief appearance was against Cleveland, where he worked 4 2/3 innings and allowed just 2 hits and 1 run. He's capable. He's got to keep it down. Oof. Got away with that one.
Escobar to the infield grass. 2 hands to make sure he secured it. That ball was way up there, up above the lights.
Not where Guthrie wants to be, though, on this guy like Gomes. Extremely powerful. He just got up underneath that one.
And now Jerry Sands. Sands came on in the 3rd inning as a pinch runner for Lonnie Chisenhall, who had just reached with an infield single. And it was interesting because Chisenhall, and we learned later that he left with cramping in his hamstring. But Terry Francona and the trainer didn't go out and check on him. He reached first base. Sands came out immediately as if it was the 8th or 9th inning, and it was a predetermined move.
Yeah, and now that we know what it was, he probably said something to Francona earlier, a little bit earlier, saying he's having some trouble with his cramping. And you know, it's easy because he has to run all the way to the outfield, right field, and then run back. So you can kind of tell when something's going on with that long run out to the infield. Usually, when he's playing 3rd base, heck, he can just walk to 3rd from the dugout.
2-1 on Sands.
I remember Brandon Moss, and I asked him how he liked playing at the K. He said, "Of course I love it." He goes, "The only thing I don't like is running to the outfield from your dugout over here on the 3rd base side." He goes, "Your ballpark's so big, that's a long run." 2 times an inning for 9 innings.
But sometimes that's, if there's not a whole lot of action, that's the only way to stay loose. Otherwise, you're just standing around out there.
Yep.
Easy for the calves and the hamstrings and the lower back to tighten up. 3-2 on Sands. Sold out Kauffman Stadium for Game 2 with the Indians. And those relief appearances earned him a start. And he replaced Danny Duffy in the rotation, as the Royals wanted Danny to get acclimated to the bullpen before the postseason. And then Guthrie got knocked around in that start and has been replaced by Chris Young. Good pitch. Sands way out in front. That's Guthrie's 2nd strikeout, and there are 2 down in the 5th inning.
Beauty. Little slider. Inner half.
Chris Johnson with 2 down, right at the knees for the fastball at 92. Johnson has flied to right and struck out swinging. So far we have completed 8 half innings, and in 6 of the 8 someone has scored. 11 runs on a combined 16 hits. And of the 16 hits tonight, 10 have been extra base hits.
Guthrie, it's important, like Medlin, to change his speeds, but make sure you just hit that target if you can. It's not easy, but good spot. Had a chance to talk to Chris Johnson today a little bit about Ron, his father, we talked about last night. He's the AAA coach for the Baltimore Orioles in Norfolk, Virginia. Good pitch. Way to go. He stayed on that corner and was convicted with it. Stayed with it.
So Guthrie has given the Royals a lift out of the bullpen. He has faced 4, retired 4, and struck out 3.
Johnson, you got to go.
Here at Kauffman Stadium. How about that? You guys mentioned Dana DeMuth, the crew chief, earlier in the broadcast, working his 4,000th career game. One of 4 active umpires, along with Joe West, Jerry Davis, and Tim Welke. 23rd in history. Had a chance to talk with Dana about that milestone before the game. Really nice guy. And he said, first off, it means I'm old, but he said, I'm proud of it. I'm proud to be a part of history. So I asked him, what about the best moments or biggest moments in all those games in your umpiring career? And he said probably the biggest moment will be working behind home plate for Game 6 of the 1993 World Series. That, of course, was Joe Carter's big home run against Philadelphia. The one thing, guys, that he's never done, think about all these games. We've already seen 2 call-up umpires from the minor leagues work home plate for a no-hitter this year throughout the major leagues. He's never worked home plate for a no-hitter. He said that he had a Dodgers game years ago that was a no-hitter through 9 innings, and it ended up being broken up on a walk-off home run in the 10th inning, and that was the hit. But think about it. Last night, Carlos Carrasco, 1 hitter. He could have worked a no-hitter in his 3,999th game, but Alex Rios, fortunately, I would say for the Royals, ruined that.
Blame it on Rios. Yep, you know, our partner Steve Fisiak, he's never broadcasted a no-hitter before, and he's brought that up several times, and those are pretty rare, that's for sure. There's Fizz. How about a wave? How about a pose, Fizz? Give us a
come on with the
pose. Look at him with his
nicely folded hands. He saw himself on TV. Come on.
Ooh.
Do I do that when you show me?
No, you got a little life. Too bad. Lorenzo Cain took a fastball. It was on the outer half. Didn't want to.
Both managers had to dip into the bullpen in the 4th inning. McAllister came on with 2 down in the 4th at the last out after he hit Alex Gordon to put the tying run in scoring position, and then he got Ben Zobrist to ground out sharply to second. Eric Hosmer has popped to third and grounded out to second base. He has a 7-game hitting streak. Well, he's starting to warm up at the right time. 1 ball and 1 strike. Before the 7-game hitting streak, Hosmer had gone a stretch of 12 games where he hit 150 with only 1 extra base hit. He's turned that around. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Hosmer still among the league leaders in batting average and in runs scored. 7th with 93 runs scored. That's a career high for him. And that's hit well to center field, but right at Almonte. 2 outs. Academy Sports and Outdoors is now open with your Royals championship gear. Head to one of 3 Kansas City locations or the Topeka store to join in on the celebration. Academy Sports and Outdoors is the official sporting goods retailer of the Kansas City Royals. Outside to Kendrys Morales. It's interesting, and it would take a while to look this up, so don't even try, Holtzy, but it seems lately that the Royals have been scoring runs, not when they get the leadoff man on, but when the first batter is out. And they've done that 3 times again tonight. First inning, Gordon grounded out, Zobrist homered. 3rd inning, Rios flied out, and the Royals scored a run. 4th inning, Hosmer began the inning, grounding out, and then the Royals scored 3. So for most teams, get the leadoff man on, get a rally going. Lately for the Royals, get 1 out of the way and then get the rally going. 3-1 on Morales with Moustakas on deck.
Morales has a team best 29 multi-RBI games. He's really been consistent, and he's a hitter that lets the ball travel to him. He waits on it. He doesn't go out and try to get it, and then he puts a nice compact stroke on it. Wherever it's pitched, usually he'll take the walk.
Mike Moustakas was part of that 3-run rally in the 4th inning with an opposite field double that hopped over the fence. The Indians have been playing him to pull, and Moustakas has been trying to go the other way. He has flied to left and doubled to left. Tough to hit that ball to left field. A fastball tailing over the inside at 97.
We saw him hit that line drive in that previous series on a ball that was right off of his ankles at about 95 or 96 down low, and he drove it, so he's capable of hitting that. Ball had a little wrinkle on that one out in front of it.
And when he scored in the 4th inning, Moustakas established a new career high. He already has a career high with 21 home runs, a career high with 76 RBIs, career high 41 walks, and with that run, a career high 70 runs scored this year. 3 or 4 pretty good categories: home runs, RBIs, walks, and runs scored.
And he stayed healthy for most of the year.
Drilled to right field, but right at Sands. He almost came in too far. He had to reach way up above his cap to make the play. 2 lineouts to the outfield, and the Royals are scoreless in the 5th. Are down by 1 as we move to the 6th inning, and as promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game sent in by Abby. Is that at the Roman Coliseum? By the way, Abby representing the Royals in Italy.
Beautiful shot.
I think that's what it is. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag KC Data Strong Fan for a chance to have it featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Or maybe it was the Oakland Coliseum.
Well, either that or they took a picture in front of a nice painted billboard. Signage.
Jeremy Guthrie works his 3rd inning, his 2nd full inning. He got the last out of the 4th in relief of Chris Medlin with a strikeout, and got the Indians in order in the 5th inning with 2 more strikeouts, and a curveball bends in for a strike to Abraham Almonte. He doubled in the 2nd inning and grounded out in the 4th. Showing bunt. 2-1. Ball needs a hook foul, and it will.
A breaking ball down and into lefties can be trouble for Guthrie. Maybe try to stay away or work a changeup. That ball usually moves on the outer half. We'll see if Salvi calls. There you go. Stay down out there.
3-2. Mike Aviles is on deck, followed by Jason Kipnis. Sal wants a changeup, and it stayed up in the strike zone. Still 3-2. Almonte, originally a Yankee, traded to the Mariners, and last year he was their opening day center fielder and leadoff man. 27 games later, he was sent to the minor leagues, and before that season was over, he was traded to the Padres, and then traded to the Indians at the deadline this year, and he'll take a leadoff walk. Franklin Morales. Ned Yost is going to put him back in the saddle one night after giving up 2 runs, 3 hits in just 1/3 of an inning, but he hadn't pitched in 6 days.
Yep.
Aviles bunting, good bunt, and Hosmer fields and then cuts Aviles off, so he has nowhere to go. Sacrifice gets Almonte to second base with 1 out.
You know, remember in the 9th inning in Cleveland when Aviles came out to pinch bunt and he bunted to Holland. He popped it up, almost hit it, popped it into a double play. So there he's able to get the job done, and that's one of the things that a guy like Aviles can do.
Guthrie departs with a runner at second base and 1 out. And Franklin Morales comes in to face Jason Kipnis. Baseball and FS1 continues to be your home for postseason action with the American League Division and Championship Series. Don't miss a moment of the drama and history. It all begins October 8th on FS1. It's streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
It's a beautiful sight.
So the Royals have that out of the way, and now hoping for home field advantage. Toronto won earlier today, so the Royals need to win tonight to maintain that 1-game lead. If they're tied, by the way, Toronto wins based on head-to-head. They were 4-3 against the Royals this year. Franklin Morales. Last night he came on and began the 7th inning, allowed a walk, a home run, a single, then he got an out and allowed another hit, and Ned Yost had to remove him after recording just 1 out. The 1 out that he got last night was a strikeout against Kipnis, who bats with Almonte at second base and 1 down.
He's done a great job for most part of the year, and against lefties especially. They're just hitting 184. Have to command down. Fastball, slider, occasional curves.
Good pitch. 2-1 to Kipnis. He's had 3 good swings tonight, Kipnis.
How nice is it not to have Michael Brantley in the lineup for the Royals? I mean, the Royals feel good about that for sure. He's a great hitter.
Right side, past Zobrist, and they're going to wave home Almonte. Rio's throw is cut off by Morales, who was not backing up home plate. He was a second cutoff man. So Kipnis hits the ball hard again, and the Indians lead is back out to 2 runs, 7-5. So Guthrie's leadoff walk turns into a run.
Ball had some top spin on it.
Here's Jose Ramirez. He has 2 hits. Both are extra base hits. Two for 3 overall. The out he made resulted in one of Alcides Escobar's best plays of the year. A little pop up out into shallow left field, and Escobar with his back to the infield went running out to make the play. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Check this great catch out. Oh yeah, and then he's able to slide safely without any collision. Tip the cap. Well done. Ramirez is hitting 200 from the right side.
Man, he is just hitting shot after shot. Jose Ramirez getting some playing time because Urshela is out with a sore shoulder, and he's making the most of it. And Franklin Morales, after getting knocked around last night, comes on tonight, faces 2 hitters. He gives up 2 hits, 1 run scores. And now with 2 on and 1 out, it's going to be Hochevar to face Francisco Lindor. Six innings tonight, and they lead 7-5, and they have 2 on with 1 out. And Francisco Lindor coming up, the rookie who's hitting 3rd with Michael Brantley out. They're the Rookie of the Year candidates. Carlos Correa looked like a runaway for a while, but now Francisco Lindor has come on. Miguel Sano with a .946 OPS, 17 home runs in 71 games.
That's 3 really good looking young players for sure. And you're going to see a lot of them in the future.
That surprised me that you're only talking about 5 rookies since 1983 with 100 hits and 10 home runs. Neither one of those sounds like, you know, big numbers, but only 5 in the major leagues have accomplished that since 1983, and some of them far surpass both of those numbers. Eric Hosmer on that list in 2011.
See if Hoach can somehow find a way to get Lindor to hit into his 13th double play. Cutter in the low 90s. He'll reach 97. Big overhand curve.
Curveball. That's been a great pitch for him in the second half.
That's got some real good bite to it. Started up around neck high.
Hochevar has inherited 16 runners out of the bullpen this year, and only 4 have come around to score. Which is a little better than the team's inherited runs scored percentage. Base hit center field. Kipnis is going to be waved home as Kane misplays it in center field. And on the play, Ramirez goes to third. It is 8-5. It's a base hit. It's an RBI. And Ramirez goes to third on an error by Kane.
Ball was hit hard. It was elevated at 90 right over the middle of the plate. It was a cutter that really just stayed over the middle, and the ball bit Lorenzo Cain. Came up on him, and as an outfielder coming in charging hard on the ball, you really got to break it down when that ball gets close to you. And unfortunately, Lorenzo couldn't glove it. That's his 10th error on the season.
We're in the 6th inning, and Cleveland has 8 runs on 12 hits. Inside to Carlos Santana. He has chipped in with one of those 12 hits. It was a 2-run triple in the first inning. Two and 0 to Santana. And now 3-0, basically just going with the same pitch, a hard slider in on Santana, trying to get him to chase it and roll it over to Zobrist for a ground ball double play. There's the ground ball on 3-0. Out at second, going to have to hurry, and they didn't get it. Another run scores. It is 9-5, and Santana has driven in 3.
Relievers are used to coming in with their good stuff and their good command and getting some strikeouts with their stuff, but it's just not happening now. This whole month of September has been a little bit rough on the pitch for the pitching.
Fastball at 97. fouled away. Friends here, and they live close to each other in the off season. Both live in Knoxville, Tennessee. Both went to the University of Tennessee. Coach Haver was the Royals' first-round pick in 2006. In 2009, Gomes was drafted by the Blue Jays. Santana runs. He is out. So the inning ends with a good defensive play, but an error helped set up a run. One of the 3 runs the Indians get in the 6th inning. Bottom of the 6th inning. Salvador Perez with our Ram drive of the game in the 4th inning. A 2-run double against Josh Tomlin, a pitcher he owns. And the Royals ended up scoring 3 in that inning to make it a 1-run game, 1-run deficit, 6-5. But Cleveland just got 3 in the top of the 6th to make it 9-5. So a good time for a sonic slam. And our contestant is Robbie Beal from Overland Park. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Robbie wins $1,400. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Robbie wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Jeff Manship is now in for Cleveland. That's Salvi reaching. Routine ground ball to short, and then there's one away.
Manship, that's what he likes to do, is bring ground balls. He's got his good sinker, 88 to 94. Curve ball in the mid-70s. Change up, pretty good slider. That's what he got Salvi on, was a slider away. Opponents aren't doing much off him. 171. Good ERA. That's a great ERA in 35 innings.
Oh, 1-1 to Alex Rios. He has flied out to right field and flied to center. One ball and one strike. The end of the bat, it'll carry into the corner, but not enough, and Aviles makes the play for the second out. Well, if you're hoping for another Royals comeback against the Indians bullpen, consider that the Indians bullpen ERA against the Royals this year is 6. Coming into tonight, 30 innings pitched and 20 earned runs. So there's your hope. So far, the Indians bullpen is not allowed a run. Zach McAllister came on in the 4th inning, so there's going to be a lot of Indians bullpen, and especially the way Terry Francona operates. But Zach McAllister took over for Tomlin in the 4th. He went an inning and a third scoreless, and now Manship has the first 2 outs and the first 2 strikes against Escobar. Esky's had a good night, and he's had a very good last 6 games. He has 9 hits in his last 20 at bats. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, he's not trying to overdo it, just trying to stay up the middle of the field, and that's what he's been doing. Most of his hits have come that way. He'll pull mistakes that are off speed, but the important thing is to keep the swing short.
Pulled foul. Late movement over the outside, and Manship comes out of the Indians bullpen and gets the lower third of the order. 3 up and 3 down at the end of 6. The Royals deficit is 4. AT&T U-verse high-speed internet. The U-verse revolves around you. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. By your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. It is the 7th inning, and the Royals are down 9-5 as Cleveland has scored in 4 of 6 innings. And in those 4 innings, they have scored more than 1 run. They got 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 3 in the 6th. And the Royals have been playing catch up all night. Down 2-0. They got a run in the first. Down 4-1. They got a run in the third. Down 6-2. They got 3 in the fourth to make it 6-5 in the most painful inning so far as Cleveland's 3-run sixth. 2-1 from Hochevar to Gomes. Gomes was at the plate in the 6th inning when Carlos Santana was caught stealing, and that ended the inning. So Gomes up there with a fresh count. 2 balls and 2 strikes with off-season bragging rights on the line here. 2 buddies who live in Knoxville.
Yeah, I remember the coach throws to him.
Good swing, fouled it back to the screen. And if you're wondering where they stand right now, Gomes is 1 for 3 against Hochevar, and that hit is a home run. That's all time Hochevar against Gomes.
I was giving him a couple fastballs the last 2. I don't expect him to get another one here. Although Salvi looks like he's calling for it. Maybe cut her away.
4-seamer away at 96. Fouled away. Gomes started at Tennessee and then transferred to Barry University in Florida. He was stuck behind J.P. Arancibia, who was catching at Tennessee. And then Gomes, as fate would have it, was signed by the Blue Jays and was stuck behind J.P. Arancibia in Toronto.
Oh, man.
And the Indians picked him up in a trade in 2012. Now the Blue Jays are in very good shape right now with Russell Martin as their catcher, but that's a trade that will not go down as one of the best in Blue Jays history. Yan Gomes for pitcher Esmil Rogers. As Gomes is developing into one of the best younger catchers in the American League. Hosmer into foul ground, and this time Hochevar has the upper hand as Gomes fouls out. 1 away in the 7th.
Yeah, it's tough to ask the hitters to keep coming back when they have such a large deficit to overcome. When the opponents score first this year, the Royals are 31-44. Now they've had their share of comebacks. We talked about that. This is their only losing month so far in September, and that'll tell you right there. The ERA of the overall staff is 5.48. 36 home runs allowed and 286 average to the opponents. There's the reason. Now it's easy to point fingers at times, but sometimes the numbers are able to speak loudly. The Royals offense have averaged 5.2 runs a game in September, so they're giving them the run support, actually more than their season average at just 4.2. They're giving them one more run than that, but you've got to get pitching.
I think that number you just recited would surprise a lot of Royals fans. The Royals are 9-14 in September, and they're averaging over 5 runs a game.
Yeah.
One and 2 on Jerry Sands. He has 1 at bat tonight, and he struck out in the 5th inning. Two and 2.
First innings usually set the tone for the game. And the Royals, it seems like they haven't had they've had a difficult time in the first inning getting out of it, starting pitching, giving up those runs. And when the Royals score first, they're 60-20.
Back to Hochevar. Nice play on a sharp one-hopper and throws out Sands. And now Chris Johnson. Johnson is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. One and two. Medlin went 3 2/3 innings, allowed 6 runs, 9 hits. Guthrie, an inning and 2/3. He allowed 1 run, and Morales was hit with 2 runs, 1 unearned, without recording an out. Indians have 9 runs, 12 hits. Didn't mean to do it. And Johnson has a hat trick. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. And that's just the second 1-2-3 inning for a Royals pitcher tonight.
Takes us around the league. Told you about Toronto and their win. Houston, a much-needed victory over Texas. Minnesota right now doubling up Detroit, trying to stay in that wild card race. Same for Los Angeles. Our Mazda game break takes us to Houston, where things have really fallen apart. But Carlos Correa, the kid, way up over the tracks. That's one of those Rookie of the Year candidates you're talking about. Amazing, guys, how quickly things can change. 2 weeks ago, Houston was up 3.5 in the division. Right now, they're up 1.5 with teams right on their tail for that last wild card spot. Coming up after the game, we'll break down tonight's contest with Jeff Montgomery, talk about Chris Medlin and what went wrong with him tonight, talk about some of the offense here from Ned Yost, and much more coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. And guys, back to that trivia question earlier about the player that has been around longest, most games without being in the postseason. Right after we had that discussion, one of our stats gurus, graphics guy, the associate producer Al Broughton, I don't know if he was asking me the question or suggesting an answer, but he was right in wondering who had the most games ever without making it to the playoffs, and that was Ernie Banks.
Yep, that's where I was going to go. How many was it, by the way?
I forget. I looked it up like 2 hours ago. A lot.
Look at that. One infielder on the left side, and Alex Gordon hits it right to him. That was the third baseman Ramirez playing in the normal shortstop position. Alex is 1 for 3 tonight, and there's one down in the bottom of the 7th. This is Jeff Manship. He is the third Indians pitcher tonight. Came on in the 6th inning. He faced 3 and retired 3, and now 1 out in the 7th. And ball 1 to Ben Zobrist.
Manship mainly going fastball sliders. Been starting a lot of Royals off fastballs, and they're taking them.
To Ramirez again. A ball magnet in this inning. And Zobrist is 1 for 4. Kane is 0 for 3 tonight. Slider for a strike. Pitcher friendly strikeout tonight. We've seen a few frustrated responses from hitters on both sides. Mike Estabrook is calling the balls and strikes. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Had a wide array of strike zones during this homestand.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. A lot of different styles, and a lot of them not good.
Off the end of the bat, back to Manship, and he is a quick 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th inning. Since coming on in the 6th, he has faced 6 and knocked down 6. Royals Charities 2016 Braden's Hope calendar featuring 12 Royals players, including manager Ned Yost, and 12 children fighting cancer. The special calendar can be purchased for just $10 at royals.com/calendar, and all proceeds benefit Braden's Hope for childhood cancer. And each month features a Royals player and several different pictures of a Royals player with a child spending the day here at Kauffman Stadium in several locations. Miguel Almonte, the Royals are going to take a look at him and see how he bounces back after pitching last night, pitching in back-to-back games.
And that's a challenge for a guy who's used to starting every 5th day. You want to take a look at him and see how he goes with that good fastball. He'll top 98. Overhand curve and a changeup.
Foul tip. Dave Holtzman's fired up.
He is.
Almonte versus Almonte, part 2.
That's right.
Last night they hooked up, and it was the first ever Almonte pitching to Almonte in Major League history. Moustakas charges, throws, good play. Last night Miguel got Abraham on a fly ball to left field, so Miguel is ahead 2-0.
That's right. That ball had a lot of spin on it. That wasn't easy. Moose opened up that glove wide and make sure it got in the pocket before he threw it. Because those spinners, those are tough sometimes. Look at them spin on that ball. If you don't have your glove just right, it'll hit that glove and spin off.
'97 and high to Mike Aviles. '96 and maybe out of the strike zone. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, with a golden arm like his, there's no doubt that we'll see him in the regular season next year at some particular point. We'll see what they do in the off season, but he might be vying for a starting role, depending on how he finishes up this year.
A fastball like that.
Yeah, that's a great pitch, and then his overhand curve is nice. It's not quite as sharp as Ventura's, but it's a 12-6.
Another ball with a lot of spin. Hosmer to Almonte for the second out. And every trip to the mound for Almonte means he's more comfortable at this level, more comfortable with the size of the crowds, the pressure of the situation. Royals fighting for home field advantage.
That's what's so good about September call-ups. Bring these guys up that have had good seasons and have a high ceiling as far as their potential goes, and get them up here in those lights and let them get a little bit of taste of it. Keep them hungry.
Jason Kipnis is 2 for 4. He could easily be 4 for 4. He has 2 singles tonight, 2 runs scored and an RBI, but his 2 outs were probably the 2 hardest hit balls he's had tonight. He has grounded out hard to Zobrist at second, and he's lined to Kane in center field. Curveball got away from him. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cleveland Indians tonight are trying to get above 500 and trying to hang in there for the second spot in the American League wild card. They're at 76 and 76. The last time the Indians were above 500, their record was 2-1 back in April, and as they have played well in the month of September. They have been back to 500 5 different times, including for this game, but have not been able to get one game over 500. Meanwhile, the Royals so far are 9-14 in September.
3-2 right here. Just go out there and execute a pitch. Get it out of this inning.
Little squib out in front of the plate.
Thank you.
Salvi throws him out, and Almonte has a scoreless top of the 8th. It's getting late to the bottom of the 8th, and the Royals are down by 4. Follows Jeff Manship, who came on as the 3rd Indians pitcher tonight. He faced 6 and retired 6. These are the sprint cuts of the game.
That little bad luck in the last couple of innings. Been hitting the ball right at some guys and see if they can find some holes and make it interesting here. Crockett's not overpowering. 88-93 fastball, likes to sink it. He's got a little bit of a sidearm delivery. Slider and a changeup.
Very close to being fair. A little splinter came off of Hosmer's bat.
Yeah, that ball had some spin on it. It almost spun fair.
Actually, it was more of a chunk that came off of his bat. Is that next to the mound?
I think it is.
Santana makes a very good play and goes to the bag to get Hosmer. And Eric is 0 for 4. Santana, not known for his glove work at first base, makes a very Eric Hosmer type play up the line.
Yeah, he had a nice big hop, and I mentioned luck, and it's still buzzard luck. Looking for a little something to get him going. Base hit, get this crowd back into the game. It's another sellout crowd, the 20th of the season here at the K. Fans loving it.
38,167 to be exact. That'll be out of play. Most exciting moment tonight for the fans was the Royals Bottom of the fourth inning. The Royals have been trying to catch up to the Indians all night. They've been down 2-0. They have been down 4-1. And when they were down 6-2 going into the fourth, the Royals got 3 runs. Salvador Perez hit a big 2-run double. Alcides Escobar drove in a run to make it 6-5. The Royals have not scored since. And the Indians got 3 in the 6th inning to pull away.
There's some frustration we haven't seen all year from Morales. First time. Watch him. I mean, he's never ever said a word to the umpire.
And that hit him on the foot. Well, the Royals need base runners, and they have to take them however they can get them. So Crockett puts Morales on, and now will face Moustakas.
Ooh, yeah, that hurt. Got him on the shin. And that ball bounced right back to the pitcher, and you know that hit him squarely. Not happy, but you know you didn't see him get kicked out of the game for arguing for the strike, but he took his hand off the bat. He made an outward display to the umpire that he was not happy, and that's the first time I've seen that in 559 at bats from Morales. It's pretty good.
Fastball strike to Mike Moustakas. He is 1 for 3. He doubled into the left field corner in the fourth inning. He's also lined out to right. So hitting the ball hard to all fields again. Way outside. The Indians are one of the teams, despite Moustakas spraying the ball around much more this year than in years past. They continue to play him to pull and stack the right side with 3 infielders. So Lindor, the shortstop, is like a. And now Kendrys Morales is asking Kyle Turner to come out, but Lindor out there was kind of like a traffic cop, making sure that the Indians knew what to do if there was a ground ball with the overshift.
Yeah, no, that really hurt Morales. He did a good job of masking the pain. But that ball, whenever you can tell by where the ball bounces after it hits a guy, whether he got it cleanly or not. And when that ball bounces back to where it came from, that means it went right off his bone, and he's gonna have to sit the rest of this one out. Get some ice on that shin.
Paulo Orlando will take over at first base with 1 out. One and 1 to Moustakas. Below the knees, 2 balls and 1 strike. Chopped foul, 2-2. I mentioned that the Indians bullpen has not pitched well collectively this year against the Royals. Their ERA coming into tonight, this is just the bullpen against KC, was at 6, an even 6. But since taking over in the fourth inning, the Indians bullpen has not allowed a hit. And they've only given up 3 runners, 2 hit batters and 1 walk. There's the ground ball. How will the Indians handle it? They're going to go 4-5-3 with Ramirez, the third baseman, covering. And that's that in the bottom of the 8th inning. Another scoreless inning for the Cleveland bullpen. And now we go to the 9th. It's still 9-5. Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. You want a do-over?
That looks like a balloon tonight. Look at that. We just put a little string on there like that.
Wow. 9:18 p.m. tomorrow, we're going to have a lunar eclipse. Look at that. I mean, gosh, almost put us right on the surface of the moon.
Yeah, that's some great camera work. They're powerful. Well, I wonder if we'll be able to see it in Chicago. I mean, could
the
be
moon?
Overcast. Yeah, I mean, if it's overcast, we miss the lunar eclipse.
That's where the Royals will go tomorrow after the afternoon game. So yeah, that's where we'll be at 9:18. Jabba Chamberlain to get Jose Ramirez, Francisco Lindor, and Carlos Santana. Jose Ramirez is swinging like he knows what's coming. Down, no balls, 2 strikes. He wasn't happy with that call. Ramirez is a home run shy of the cycle. He popped out in the first inning on a great play by Alcides Escobar. He tripled in the third, scored, doubled with an RBI in the fourth and scored, and then singled and scored in the sixth. Two balls, 2 strikes. Got to go back to 2003 for the last time an Indian hit for the cycle. Travis Hafner.
Kronk. Wonder where he got that triple.
And the count from 0-2 to 3-2.
Well, Ramirez, like he has done tonight, he's turned on some fastballs in fastball hitting counts. 3-2. He's looking for that heater here. And he wants to put a nice little level swing on it. It's not very many chances you get to hit for that cycle. Salvi's not going to give it to him. Well, he did. And he missed it.
He will pop out to Escobar as bookends to an otherwise very good night. You know, Ramirez went from a guy who was playing a lot to a guy who's kind of without a position. He was just keeping shortstop warm for Francisco Lindor, who steps in now as Drupal Cabrera is gone. He is now with the Tampa Bay Rays. He was a shortstop for the Indians for several years. The Indians knew that Lindor was coming, so Ramirez getting some playing time at short. The Indians have Jason Kipnis at second base, and now Giovanni Urshela was getting a lot of playing time at third base. So Ramirez is only playing at third because Urshela is out with an injury.
Yeah, so he's trying to make the most of it. That's what you do. You can't control who's ahead of you and the talent that's ahead of you, because you're just a piece of property as a player. But you can certainly up your stock by when you get your chances to shine, because these games in September are heavily scouted. And a lot of teams are looking for next year. Fortunately, the Royals aren't, and Cleveland's not. They're mathematically still in it. Well, it's a great audition time for a lot of players.
Lindor has been part of the Indians offense again tonight, as he normally is. He has an RBI, a stolen base, a run scored, 2 hits, and a walk.
You know,
down 1 and 2.
Several years ago, Ryan, when they took infield, major leaguers used to take infield before the game. Right after batting practice, they would go in, towel off or whatever, and go take infield practice. And that's what scouts love to watch. They like to go out there and watch guys take infield. They could grade their tools a little bit better by throwing from the outfield, watching guys turn double plays. And that was a good showcase for a lot of backup players, just taking infield.
2 down.
And so, you know, guys would have their A game on in infield practice, hoping that somebody would see something and you could get a job and an opportunity out there. Trying to open eyes always, because it doesn't last long in your career and you're looking for a break. I remember praying for just any way to get out of the Yankee system, because they were loaded with talent, and I would take infield every night and I would look in the stands and see how many guys were out there, and I would say, all right, I'm gonna show you something here. And it wasn't even at 7 o'clock. It was practice. But scouts, if you talk to them now, they'll tell you that they're a little bit bummed that they don't take infield anymore. Most teams get their work done before games now, way before games, like at 3 o'clock before the stands open, and during batting practice.
What was that?
I think Java missed by a pretty good margin.
Two and 0 on Santana. He's driven in 3 tonight. Back with a slider. No swing. Dana DeMuth, we told you in the first inning, third base umpire and crew chief, is umpiring his 4,000th major league game tonight. 3-1. Full count. And Santana strikes out. Chamberlain got him with a breaking ball down. Chamberlain has a 1-2-3 ninth with a couple of strikeouts. Royals are down by 4 to the bottom of the ninth. some of the most animated Royals fans that we have seen over the course of the season. Royals super fan Chris on the right waving that rally flag. Other fans dressed up or not dressed up in the case of the guy who is bare chested with the bow tie.
Where's Sung Woo?
He's been low profile this time to Kansas City, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's here, isn't he?
I heard that he was in town and one of the networks was doing a special on him.
Brian Shaw will pitch the bottom of the 9th inning. Salvador Perez, Alex Rios, and Alcides Escobar coming up. Terry Francona had to go to his bullpen in the bottom of the 4th inning, and that inning began with his team ahead 6-2. And so far, Zach McAllister, Jeff Manship, and Kyle Crockett have gone 4 1/3 innings and have not allowed a hit. And that's popped up into shallow left field. Mike Aviles is out there tonight, and there is one out. So what looked like a frustrating night for Francona with a big lead and hoping that Josh Tomlin could pitch deeper into the game than he did. His bullpen has stepped up. The Indians trying to hang in there in the wild card race. He only needed one pitcher last night, and that's Carlos Carrasco, giving up just 1 hit in 9 innings and establishing a new career high with 15 strikeouts.
He dealt. I had to go in there and talk to him today about that bug that flew in his nose. You know, here, watch this. You can see the bug fly in there. There it is. See it going? See it? There it is. It's going right in. Yeah, okay. That's distracting, obviously. And I commended him for keeping his composure. You know, he was in the middle of a game, and I asked him about it. He goes, you know, that bug flew all the way to my brain. He goes, I tried all I could to try to get it out.
So he never got it out?
No, he said eventually it came out,
okay.
but he said that kind of messed with him the rest of that game. But he laughed it off and said he's never had anything like that happen before on the mound, and it's kind of unusual.
There's that cutter, trademark pitch for Brian Shaw, and they're 2 down in the 9th inning. Well, that makes it even more impressive last night for Carrasco. 9 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 15 strikeouts, and 1 bug in his nostril.
It's not just in his nostril. But anyway, he was all smiles today, obviously.
Now, Alcides Escobar's had another good night at the plate. So, coincidence or not, after all the time off, last Saturday, last Sunday, Monday, last night, and he has 9 hits in his last 21 at-bats. Tonight he has a triple, a single, a run scored, and an RBI. Jose Ramirez, one of many Indians with a big night tonight. 3 hits. He fell a home run shy of the cycle. He scored 3 runs. And Cleveland scored in 4 of the first 6 innings. And in each of those innings, they scored more than 1 run. On the ground to Lindor. And the Indians bullpen finishes off the game with 5 1/3 hitless innings. On offense, 9 runs, 12 hits. And Cleveland has won the first 2 games of the series, taking tonight's game 9-5. So the season series is tied at 9. Tomorrow will be the deciding game of that season series. And the Indians, by the way, have won 10 of the last 11 season series with the Royals. We'll be right back.